So, what do you want to talk about? All right, so listen, y'all. First of all, every day, I want to talk about what I told you guys yesterday about Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace, and I want to follow it up because I don't want you guys to forget it. I want to talk about this while it's fresh in your minds. I told you guys that Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace should be a Super Bowl fight, should be a main event, should be just like Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. But no, of course the WWE ruined it. Now, you have Jade Cargill, this powerhouse beauty, unstoppable, versus Jordynne Grace, this powerhouse beauty, the juggernaut. When they were in AEW and TNA, they jumped ship. Typical fashion, they debut at the Royal Rumble. Same old, okay? All of a sudden, though, right, you see both of their careers going completely different than they were going when they were in AEW and in TNA. And not for the better. But the illusion of, oh, because it's WWE, you can't see past those three letters. You think that sky's the limit for them, right? Okay. Well, we saw the way their careers went. Now, leading all the way up to the actual match, let's just be real. The only reason you got Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace is because the WWE was desperate to try to get the ratings of SmackDown back up. But the problem in that is, like I told you, WWE doesn't know what they want to do with Jade Cargill. It's what the opponents that they want to put her against. The fact that Triple H says storylines don't have to make sense shows you. They just reach for random shit show after show, and that's why most of all of what you see has no storyline. And this is coming from the company that you all talked about. This storyline. What storylines? Right? So let's just look at it. Once again, Jade Cargill, there was no build up to her. She had no momentum. She never even won the NXT championship. So she came to SmackDown ice cold. Randomly. Everybody, wait, nah, she's on NXT. She didn't come yet. Yeah. Wait, Jordynne Grace is on SmackDown now? What? How? Right. She just came in ice cold. Had one match with Alba Fire. And Jade Cargill decides she doesn't like that. And she comes out, tell her this is my house, and circles her and all this, and goes back. Okay. Yet, same thing. Jade Cargill is ice cold. She's had no worthy challenges, no matches that's even worth remembering. The only good thing is her just looking good, coming to the ring and leaving the ring. And while she's in the ring, I mean physically. Same thing with Jordynne Grace. They've given them nothing. So instead of this being a WrestleMania match, instead of this being a elimination chamber match, a top marquee wrestlers against the best versus the best, no, this was billed as just another regular match. Nothing special about it. In fact, I can tell you what ruined both of them. Both of them, and I'm going to. What slowed their momentum down completely. The only difference with Jade Cargill, really, is she went to the main roster while Jordynne Grace went to NXT. As for Jordynne Grace, when she was the Knockouts champion and she was going back and forth with these crossover matches just to NXT. And I told you guys that it's only because WWE has interest in her. How they use them once they get there is something different. In fact, WWE does exactly what you guys falsely accused AEW of doing. This. Oh, they take you for 2 weeks and then they don't use you. No, bullshit. This is what WWE does. But here's the thing. She goes there. She managed to defeat this one up-and-coming wrestler that nobody even cared about in WWE. They did absolutely nothing. She had zero push. And why is this veteran of 15 years, why is she even wrestling this person, right? But she loses to Roxanne Perez, okay? Roxanne Perez. And what people thought was Jordynne Grace is going to shine big time. She's going to beat these NXT rookies. And when she goes to the main roster, they didn't think it would take so long. All of a sudden, Stephanie Vaquera and Julia, even Lash Legend, they make it to the main roster way before Jordynne Grace. Like, are you serious? So Jordynne Grace is losing to rookies. And when she lost to Roxanne Perez, I noticed week after week, whenever she came out, and the applause was never the same. She's coming to the ring angry, frustrated. She's losing to these rookies. Okay? And that took the wind out of her sail. She was never the same after that. She was never the same after that. Now, when she lost the belt, in TNA, to Masha Slamovich, and she officially signed with TNA, they had already done the damage to her, to where now she's here, but it's like that ovation wasn't the same. You're no longer the juggernaut. You don't have that menacing, you just don't look the same. The feel is not the same. You're not the same in the ring. This is that watered down WWE nonsense. And she's just been ice cold ever since. Now she comes on to SmackDown just to lose another match. So right now on SmackDown, she's 1-1. I told you this match was too soon. There was no build behind it. There was no promo behind it, and it was not built up to be, hey, female Ultimate Warrior versus female. Well, I ain't gonna say Hogan, fuck Hogan, but you know what I'm saying. That's what this match should have been. Honestly, the female Hogan and female Warrior. That's what this should have been, or Goldberg, or you know what I mean. But no, or Brock Lesnar. But that's not what they did. Or Bobby Lashley. They just basically threw this shit together, just to have a reason to put Jade Cargill in the ring. And Jordynne Grace was the sacrificial lamb. Jade didn't deserve to lose, but neither did Jordynne deserve to be in a losing position. But due to the circumstances, she had to. Otherwise, like I said, then Jade Cargill's run is a joke. It already is a joke. But now, even at her beating Jordynne Grace, people don't look at Jordynne Grace like she's a big deal anymore. Now, as for Jade Cargill, I'll tell you exactly what ruined her. When Jade Cargill, it wasn't nothing, all of the complaining, oh, she botches, all that. No, people are going to do that regardless. What ruined Jade Cargill was this. She gets thrown off of a platform into a windshield, right, by Naomi. That's the storyline they're going with. Okay, cool. You can see through that whole time they had no plans. They were just planning as they went along. And then every other week, you see Bianca and Naomi. I got to find out what happened to my girl, Jade. We got to investigate. I was expecting them to show up with, little old top hats, trench coat, and a fucking magnifying glass and shit. Just walk around looking for clues because it was so damn childish and stupid. Nick Aldis walking around. He's the GM, but he's not trying to find out. He never once went to the fucking ring to address the crowd about it. The back, we're going to find out who did this to Jade Cargill. No. This is why I said these GMs are so worthless. They do nothing. All the fuck they do is hang around backstage and come out to stop two wrestlers from fighting, send security out, and always warn if you throw one punch, I'll suspend you, blah, blah, blah. It's the same old garbage every single time. So they didn't make a big deal about this situation. So the fans are not looking at it like it's a big deal because it was handled so mediocre. Now, she's out for damn near 3 months. She comes back, gets a little bit of payback. Why? Because she was out for 3 months. So even though she came into the elimination chamber and put a pretty decent, pretty decent beat down on Naomi, Naomi still left out that motherfucker on her own, okay, and was on SmackDown in no time. Wasn't out for 3 months like her. The very next time you see Jade Cargill, she's sitting in the bleachers being interviewed. Naomi was my sister. She was my big sister. Right? And all of a sudden, now mind you, before I say that, remember when she came in the Elimination Chamber, right? She came down there and Liv Morgan is looking terrified, like she's about to piss her pants, right? This is what you're supposed to do to the scary wrestlers, right? You know how people feared the Ultimate Warrior, they feared The Undertaker, they feared Brock Lesnar, they feared Goldberg. Yeah, this is how they feared China, they feared Awesome Kong. That's what was supposed to happen, right? But then all of a sudden, she's sitting there crying in the bleachers, and then here comes Liv Morgan, who comes out with Raquel Rodriguez, boo-hoo, laughing, making fun of Jade Cargill like she's a joke. And for some reason, they make this meaningless match. Jade gets up, you want a match? Right? And then they have the match, and Jade loses to little Liv Morgan. And this is all while she's in the process of having a feud with Naomi. Now, you just came back last week. You put the beats on Naomi. But that's not it. No, you're not done. She didn't get a proper beat down. She just got a little decent. She got smacked around a little bit, slammed the cage door and all. Okay, cool. Then all of a sudden, she has this match and she loses. You can see in that audience that it was like, what the fuck? What just happened? Why? She had no business in that match. They should have just done that bullshit segment. And if they wanted to do anything and they wanted her to lose, they could have booked a match with Jade. And it could have been the type of thing where Raquel Rodriguez interfered. She shouldn't have even been in that match and she should not have lost. It was no reason for her to lose. No reason. But even if she had a loss by disqualification, it still would have been a bad call that she lost, period. But at least if it was the type of thing where she beat the shit out of Liv Morgan, there was, let's say she snapped and she shoved the referee or something, and she, something like that where she let her anger get the best of her because she's so pissed off at Naomi, you just interfered, right? So if she loses that way, at least in that case, Liv Morgan didn't pin her. And it was a DQ, but Liv Morgan goes on to whatever she's going to do, right? Elevated to what she was going to do because she got the cheap win. That's what heels do. You know what I'm saying? But she needed to put the beats on Liv Morgan, and she needed to put the beats on Raquel. This is the threat she is. Naomi, you're in trouble. But no, she goes in there and she loses to little Liv Morgan. And that right there, that very moment, it took the wind out of her sails, and it was like, okay, she's not what we thought she was going to be. That one match. Now, she's so angry, and every chance she gets, she's coming to the ring to try to attack Naomi, right? But their match doesn't become a cage match, a grudge match, a strap match, nothing violent, just a regular match. And all she's concerned about is sitting on her fucking chest. Right? That was it. She just won the match. That's it. This woman put you out of commission for almost 3 months. And all you wanted to do is just win a regular match. Nothing exciting. WWE ruined what could have and what should have been a great match. And this is the thing, right? When you look at who's booked in matches right now, they have WrestleMania, the Elimination Chamber coming up, then WrestleMania, whatever. When you look at who's booked right now, they don't even have a match book for Jade Cargill. They treat Jade Cargill like she's some, United States champion or Intercontinental champion, female version. She's not being treated or booked like the Women's World Champion. Jade Cargill is, they have a gem and don't understand it. They really don't. They don't know what to do with Jade. I told you guys this shit from the very beginning. Certain people, see, this is why, look, I told you, remember, I'm the one who told you when I watch them, even like when I look at AAA and the fact that they acquired them, and I said, I guarantee you, they like this little iguana man. They like silly shit, goofy stuff. I told you. Jade is not what, when people like Zeb Coulter say she's not WWE material, he's trying to insult her. When I say she's not WWE material, I say it because Jade has more to offer than what they're letting her to do. They're like, her and Jordynne Grace is like superheroes that's been stripped of their superpowers. You understand? And it's not because they can't go in the ring. And you know Jordynne Grace can go. She's more polished and more seasoned than Jade Cargill. But one thing that I noticed in their match last night, and no, I didn't watch SmackDown, but I did watch their match. The highlight, like their actual match. But I didn't watch SmackDown. I watched that shit on YouTube. And it wasn't even a WWE channel. But one thing I noticed, if you watch that match, they have Jordynne Grace doing all of the fucking power moves. The way that they should fucking use Jade as well. But Jade, if you watch it, Jordan's picking her up and doing all kind of slams on her. Jordan's right, and I'm sitting there going, now look at Jade skill move set. Jade is taking more punishment than she's giving, right? But Jade, but Jordynne is looking like the real powerhouse between the two. She's the one doing all the power moves, and I said, see, they don't know how to fucking use Jade, and it shows. See, when you think that the grass is greener on the other side, see, she wanted Hollywood. Jade thought WWE would be the better chance of me going off to Stardom. So, what everybody that like this is what Jade. Okay, Jade thought they gonna see this sexy ass body. They gonna see all this sweet caramel. They gonna see these muscles, this pretty face. They gonna go, damn, she looks like money. I'm going to get there. I'm going to shoot straight to the top, just like The Rock. And just like The Rock, I'm going to go to Hollywood. I'm going to become this big megastar. I'm going to become this supermodel. And sky's is the limit for me. And I'm going to be the female Rock. Not even close. Not even close. And if she did, what's going to happen now? They're going to have movie roles where, hey, Jade, we need you to lose that muscle. Hey, Jade, we need you to do this. Hey, Jade, won't you play that role? Now she has to dedicate her time into acting. You understand what I'm saying? Which means she's going to take long hiatuses away. And you know what? When she disappears and she has no movie roles for a little while and she decides to pop back up and all of a sudden, bow, just like Goldberg, just like The Rock, out of nowhere, title shot and then win. And then you guys are going, that's not fair. Why is she getting title shots? Why you have other people busting their asses on the roster and she just comes in out of nowhere and wins? Well, you know why? Because popularity is what every company looks for. So if you're putting asses in seats, if you're causing the ratings to go up, yeah, they're going to use you. But you see, the era that The Rock was in of coming out and just talking all night, rock bottom somebody, people's elbow somebody, that kind of shit is not as potent as it used to be. Now it's considered a waste of fucking time. And you want to know what? Back when The Rock was doing that shit years ago, I thought it was a fucking waste of time. Now, it worked for him, but that was never what I was into. See, and that is what WWE fans fail to acknowledge. Is what's real and what the truth is. So that's what you want to see Jade do. Because pretty much, you have to dedicate your time to what your craft is. And if you're acting and you got to film movie roles and all, you run the risk of getting hurt. Now you can't, they got to delay the filming and all. So no. And this is why The Rock ended up just making appearances and got away from it. And then two, you're making millions of dollars, multi-millions of dollars without having to beat your body up. And you're getting older and you start to wisen up and realize, man, shit, you know what? It's cool to pop up every now and then, but But shit, I don't have to go through that pain, that physical pain anymore. Shit, I can just, hey, and what do you think they're going to do? So the professional wrestling ring is the catapult to become a movie star. Let's look at MJF. MJF claims he wants to be a part of AEW for years to come. He always teased this thing about maybe I'll jump shit, maybe I won't, and all that bullshit. But picture MJF where he is right now. Just picture MJF where he is right the fuck now. Now picture him leave AEW to go to WWE to join fucking NXT. Here you are, former world 2-time champion, but WWE don't want to put you on SmackDown or Raw right away to have you make an immediate impact. No, and then we're going to put you through the same bullshit of let's bring him into the Royal Rumble. And MJF music hits, the crowd goes nuts just for him to come out to NXT. And even if he came straight to the main roster, right? Do you think they're going to have a former AEW guy come in and just start whooping ass right away? No, he'll be fighting people like Grande Americano. That'll be his, somebody will come in and interrupt him while he's doing his little speech or whatever or something, and he'll start right from the bottom and they'll keep him at that bottom level. That's who he'll be beefing and feuding with. No, because if he starts beefing with CM Punk right off the bat, Roman Reigns right off the bat, Cody Rhodes, he's going to fucking lose, and you know it. But WWE fan, well, at least we got the match. But and once again, it's funny how all these WWE fans claim that AEW sucks so much they don't watch it. But man, you guys celebrate. You cream your fucking pants as soon as you get a fucking released AEW star. So Jade found out the hard way, and the difference between Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace is this. Jordynne Grace is a veteran. I think most people don't realize that about her. She's been wrestling pro for 15 fucking years, and she's still young. Jade Cargill, on the other hand, this is her 5th year. Nobody knew who the fuck Jade Cargill was before she came to AEW. That's where she got known, okay? She had the world at her feet. She had the red carpet rolled out. Even offered more money and everything, but she decided, nah, WWE, and she went. You guys always talk about WWE guys showing loyalty to the company that made them. Well, everybody from Powerhouse Hobbs to Ray Phoenix and Penta, Jade Cargill, okay, then all of them were fucking traitors then, by your own logic, because that's who made them. The world didn't know who these fucking guys were. It was AEW programming that introduced them to the world. But it's never a double standard with WWE fans. You know that. Now, Jordynne Grace, on the other hand, she was a part of TNA for a long time. She pretty much done, like, so much there. It's just like, okay, now what? Right? WWE is showing all interest, bigger paydays, and I'm pretty sure in her mind, whether she was nervous or not knowing for sure how they were going to use her, but thinking, I'll have better days than here. Bigger paydays than I did in TNA. And at the same time, if you ever look and they say, who is which I don't care, but let's say they do who's the female GOAT of TNA, right? I don't know how long she's going to be in TNA and WWE. Maybe she'll end her career there. Who knows? Maybe she won't. Same with Jade. Now, I'm saying this, in my strong opinion, I don't care about that type of shit. So anybody can use their opinion and say who was but for me, it was like you got to go between Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. After Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, okay, I look at Mickie James. Now, after Mickie James, okay, I would have to say Jordynne Grace. Simply because Angelina Love and Velvet Sky and them, they were doing what they were doing, but they didn't have that same type of impact, overall. The thing was, they was doing it in front of more people, in front of bigger crowds, bigger audiences. But at the same time, I'm talking about who actually made and was carried. Jordynne Grace was champion and she did her thing. But I'm saying because she's in WWE, if somebody asked you that question right now, they'd say Jordynne Grace. No, that shit is between Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. And I say between the two of them, it's more of a toss-up type thing. It was very difficult for anybody to beat Awesome Kong clean. You understand what I mean? So that would be my choice. And then I would put Mickie James at number 3 behind whoever people choose as number 1 or 2 between Awesome Kong and Gail Kim. It was not Jordynne Grace. But Jordynne Grace, as of more recent times, after them, yeah, hands down, Jordynne Grace. Okay, and I bring that up simply because no matter who you call the GOATs of TNA, right? None of them was considered the GOATs of WWE. So no matter how much you love them as wrestlers, or you rank them high, okay, great. But understand, WWE do not want you to come from another company, especially when you were hot, had a big name. See, if CM Punk was never in WWE, he wouldn't even be where he is now. Let's say he blew up and did all that through TNA, right? And then went to AEW when they came, right? And say he, like the same way, they would bring him in because we just want to get him away from AEW, but he wouldn't be in the same position. They had a history with him. So don't forget that. Notice, he comes back, gets a world championship. Cody Rhodes comes back, gets a world championship. Drew McIntyre, right? Because remember, Drew McIntyre went to TNA and came back, and he got screwed over so many times in WWE and finally got it. And even speaking of Drew, I notice every time I see Drew McIntyre, since he's always getting his ass kicked. Big 260-pound motherfucker, all I see him do is get his ass kicked. Every time I fucking see this guy, he's on the floor crawling around getting his ass kicked by whoever. But he's your champion. Okay, anyways, but notice, all these other people, no, okay, Ricky Saints, throw the motherfucker the NXT shit or whatever, developmental belt. You know what's funny about NXT? People seem to forget. NXT was developed long ago. They forget how long this company's been around. Okay, it's WWE. This shit, it basically spawned from the Nexus. It spawned from Nexus, being that reality shit, and they turned NXT into an actual brand, which I thought that they should have. And I thought it would be, hey, it'd be cool to have something else other than just SmackDown and Raw. SmackDown and Raw was becoming so stale to me, man. I just kept seeing the same recycled shit happening to the way where when you base everything on storylines to the point where the matches start to become less and less entertaining, it just gets to a point where you start watching different wrestlers do the same exact shit. And then it's nothing else to watch. It's like, NXT's been around all this time and they still aren't getting 1 million views either. See? Yeah. And this is a WWE project. What people overlook that. They make it sound like NXT and AEW started at the same time or something, and then, yeah, it's a ratings war. No. AEW puts on the best wrestling matches. They have the best, most well-balanced show out of all these companies as far as I'm concerned. And I will say this too, for Jordynne Grace and Jade Cargill, they might not say it on camera because they still work for WWE. Well, I strongly believe that they get frustrated and get really pissed off at how they're being used. Now, if they're the type of people, hey, as long as you pay me, I don't care, like CM Punk, well, so be it. But these are the type of things that I pay attention to, man. Like somebody last night, I read a comment where somebody was talking about how pissed off they are because Carmelo Hayes got pinned last night, right? I said, right. And I looked at the name and I said, now, aren't you the same person that just made a comment and said you don't understand why Chris Statlander got pinned by Tekla in the tag match? And I said, it's because she has a single match coming up with Tekla and she beat Tekla. It's probably not going to end there. This is a feud between the two of them, right? And what happens? Tekla winds up becoming the world champion, women's world champion the other day, right? So that's the whole point. AEW had plans for Tekla. Now, whether you wanted Chris Statlander to keep the belt or not, the point is That was AEW's plans because they had big plans for Tekla from the time they brought her in. They talked big about her, and you can see the way they used Tekla. But Carmelo Hayes being pinned, and here's my thing, right? Shinsuke Nakamura is nothing but a contender to just throw in the ring, just to, he's filler. Apollo fucking Crews, filler. Why don't one of them get pinned? Why did Carmelo? I told you guys. See, this is the problem with black people. The illusion of inclusion. Okay? That causes your confusion. This is exactly what I've been telling you guys. You think just because you see, black people, Powerhouse Hobbs is going to SmackDown. So now you got him. You got Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers. You got Obafemi. Yeah, you got all these black, right? How are they going to be used? This is my point. I told you guys, there's nothing special about Carmelo Hayes, man. Just because you see him wrestling on SmackDown against who? And how meaningful are these matches? What's going on? So, but they're probably going to make a few, probably. But I told you, there's nothing special about these guys. Like I said, when Carmelo Hayes, Obafemi, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers, and all of them other black wrestlers, when they're being talked about in the same breath and regarded as being just as great or greater than The Undertaker and Stone Cold and Ric Flair and all that, okay, then that means they were being used the way that they should have, right? They put captions like, there's nobody like Trick Williams. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to sell Trick Williams to you with all of this slick talking and catchphrases. Not so much what he does in the ring. It's always what he said. He cracked a joke on this person. He said, what is he doing in his matches that you care about? Do you understand? So they're trying to take your advice in that sense. Let's try to make him the new version of The Rock. No, he will never be The Rock. You will never see another Rock. You understand what I'm saying? You don't need to. The Rock is The Rock. Now, let Trick be Trick. But what I'm saying, if you guys are talking about superstars, see, understand something. When you sit here and say there's nobody like Trick Williams is money. Trick Williams is the next superstar. He's the next Rock. Then they should not be pulling under 1 million views. Then that means Trick Williams would be able to right now talking about his Lemon Pepper Steppers and all. They should be. The ratings are through the roof. Hell, SmackDown and caught up in past Raw again, like they used to back. There was a time when SmackDown was having big higher ratings than Raw was. But then you sit and do all this. There's nobody like Trick. We're not talking about a new company. We're talking about a company that's been around forever. And they're still pulling under 1 million views. See, inclusion. Don't let these people insult your intelligence. That's the problem. They can tell you anything to show you some bullshit, and you start crossing your fingers, wishing for better days, and then telling yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like that. That's a movie. You can be in an abusive home. You can be in a crack home. You can be in a home full of prostitutes, okay? Just saying. Stop being so goddamn lame. Well, I'm pretty sure after last night, because I saw a lot of comments and a lot of people were complaining, a lot of people were unimpressed at all between Jade Cargill and Jordynne Grace, because I told you it's just another regular match. WWE ruined what could have and should have been a big time match. I told you guys. I told you. I mean, think about it. It's not a Saturday night's main event. It's not a PLE. No, just on SmackDown with no hype at all. No build to it. They think throwing up a fucking little fancy graph picture of them facing each other, is what? What's that supposed to do? Oh, shit, Jordynne Grace. They know that already. I guarantee you, they won't say it, but I guarantee you, Jordynne Grace misses what she did in TNA. I'll guarantee you, deep down inside, the same thing. Jade Cargill misses her run in AEW. This shit that they're giving them is complete trash. What happens when they go out there at WrestleMania in front of that half-empty building because they have a whole lot of seats they didn't sell yet. Overpriced ticket sales. Every one of them tickets should have a picture of Triple H's finger on it like this to you guys. Fuck you very much for buying a ticket. Yeah, because pretty much they don't care. What happens now? Huh? When all of the things that people try to say about AEW, and when TNA was there and there was no such thing as AEW and everybody was trying to take down TNA, what happens now when these wrestlers come out at fucking WrestleMania and Michael Cole, a lot of all of you idiots, a sellout crowd, a new record, or yeah. What happens when they look around and go, damn, this building is half empty. This is fucking WrestleMania. Did people forget? Did they not know? They didn't get the memo? This is WrestleMania. Then what? I know when I watch Grand Slam Australia, I know I'm going to enjoy myself, man. And I you know what? It's one thing to want to see something and then it comes true. But I'm not about trying to predict the show so much. I mean, there's times we think we know what's going to happen, what something's leading to, but exactly where they're going, who's going to win, how they're going to win. No, I like to be surprised. You know, and let me say this too. I want to respond to this, even though it has nothing to do with WWE. You know, I said this a couple of weeks ago. Somebody in my comment section we was talking about Chris Statlander, right? Her connection with the crowd, not being on the same level as Toni Storm's, right? This is something that I addressed a couple of months ago because I said, you know what? I remember Tony Khan was being interviewed and the person asked Tony Khan, like, what can you do to make Chris Statlander connect with the crowd on the same level as Toni Storm? It's not easy. Like, what I'm saying, you don't know. I have great ideas. I have fantastic, I know I do. But I'm not Tony Khan. I'm not Triple H. I don't run the company. I can sit here and give you a rundown. I can give you a whole lot of shit that can be done. But here's what I'm saying, okay? In terms of how the fans see you, this is what Chris Statlander's situation is. I think she was a good champion. She has some solid defenses, and her matches are always good. But the connection with the crowd, now she had solid matches, but the connection with the crowd, okay, is not the same connection with Toni Storm. And I'm gonna tell you where AEW hurt Chris Statlander though, when they turned her heel, it just wasn't called for. The fans was 1,000% behind Chris Statlander. This is why I said, it got to a point in professional wrestling, period. Every show I was watching, AEW included, everybody was heel turn. Like, come on, man. It gets to the point, there's no more element of surprise. A heel turn is supposed to go, oh, because it comes out of nowhere. And it just got to the point where every time I turned, somebody was turning heel, somebody was like, oh, man. And when that happened, right? When that happened, Chris Statlander just didn't get the same ovation. This is why even like a couple of months ago, if you remember, Willow did something where I said, are they teasing the fucking Willow Nightingale heel turn? Because I hope not. Because Willow is beloved. Some people you don't ever need to turn heel, okay? And most of the time, people like Willow, even if you were a heel at one point, but you've been a face for the majority and you're beloved, the only time that changes really with certain people, is if it gets to the point where that person just isn't drawn like they used to, or like to the point the fans are, now you got to do something to spice things up. But it's not also always necessary to be a heel turn. Sometimes you just need a character change. And I noticed the fans never reconnected with Chris Statlander the same way after that heel turn. And I just didn't understand why they did it. Like, it was no need for it. It really was no need for it. But even when you do make certain things happen, right? And other companies can do the same thing. But how you connect and reconnect with the crowd, you just never know how that's going to happen. Because you can't, everybody's different in that sense. But the thing is this. Timeless Toni Storm is timeless Toni Storm. And she was invented in AEW. Not WWE, not anywhere else. The fans gravitated towards her because it's like, hey, AEW produced this. This is a You know what I'm saying? Now, Toni Storm, the what you want to call it, the gothic, the rock and roll Toni Storm, yeah, that came straight out of WWE. Thomas Toni Storm, though, that's AEW all the way. So she's one of AEW's babies. You understand what I'm saying? So it's different. Now, Chris Statlander, in terms of her character changes, sometimes you just have to put wrestlers in the right position, the right scenarios, the right storylines to. It takes storylines at times to have you reconnect with the fans. It takes certain things to happen in a way where the fans really feel you as a person. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that. I have my ideas, but I don't get paid for this shit. So, you understand what I'm saying? Hey, as much as I love watching AEW, I'm just trying to be real. These motherfuckers get paid big money. So, yeah, but I have a lot of ideas. But I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that she's still associated with Willow and her partner, you know, maybe they felt like reuniting them two would be the same. But if that was going to happen, man, you want to know what should have happened? And I will say this, I will give this information because what happened already happened, and what didn't happen didn't happen. What they should have done, if their idea was to reconnect, try to get her more over with the crowd by connecting her with like Willow gets just as loud of a cheer as Toni Storm. Like those are the two most beloved baby faces. Harley Cameron, she's in that, she's like probably she's right there too. But her, Mina Sharakawa, like there's several people, but those Willow, Toni Storm, and Harley, but mostly they get the loudest cheers out of all the females. Now, here's the thing: if the idea was to try to reconnect Chris Statlander to where the crowd is really, happy to see her back. Now she's back with her best friend in Willow and all that. Great. But what she should have done, what they could have done, they could have done something like this. They could have had them come out. Harley Cameron wants to address this because, look, you guys were best friends, right? We got, people like Megan Bain and Penelope Ford and Tekla and all these women running around here wreaking havoc on, AEW. The one thing they have in common, and they all have unity. Look at Marina Shafir. She's a part of the Death Riders, but she also tags up, with Megan Bain. And that's an awesome tag team right there, right? Now you go into the Jedi mind tricks and control of the crowd. These people love you, Willow. These people love you, Chris Statlander. Right? They love us. You guys, we can't have this. We need each other, right? And you know what? They could have also had a situation where while this is going on, right? Now you remember how the Death Riders used to come out and try to get in the ear of Chris Statlander, and people thought that she was going to turn heel again, right? They could have even had a situation, man, where there's an interference in the ring, and it's like they come and get in her ear, and they're trying to get her to join them, right? And Chris Statlander just has a look on her face. Let's say she's facing Willow, and they're telling her things about Willow, trying to get in her ear to make it, and it's looking like Chris Statlander is going to choose the Death Riders, right? But the fans is getting invested into this, right? And they're going to be going, no, right? But then let's just say, just when it looks like she's being influenced by the Death Riders, look at Daniel Garcia's career since he joined us. Look at Marina Shafir's career since she joined us. Everybody, look at everybody's career. We're winners over here. This and this and that, blah, 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 right? Bottom line, and it just gets to the point where Marina Shafir, let's say she walks up and get in Willow's face and they're staring each other down. The crowd is intense. They're into it. And all of a sudden, Marina Shafir turns around. She stands side by side with Willow. She stands in Harley Cameron. And they're facing the fucking Death Riders. Now, while this is going on, you know how Orange Cassidy always, you know, the guys that helped it, they hit the ring. So now it's even, right? She takes that fucking microphone. She tells John Moxley or Willa Yuta, and I would, yeah, especially Willa Yuta. She tells Willa Yuta to go fuck himself, hit this motherfucker door, and they start brawling. They clean house, and right in the middle of that ring, Willow and Chris Statlander have this kind of a stare down, and they both just hug each other and make up, and that shit is, you understand what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that should have happened, because that's what create those moments. Now, AEW's been doing a phenomenal job with their stories, but hey, this is what I'm saying. So when you're trying to reconnect, it has to be something that draws emotion, because you got to remember, wrestling audiences will actually cry. I've seen these motherfuckers crying in the crowd. You know, when things happen, certain people lose it, so they connect with people. And even though we know there's not a fucking, like, if they're acting and it's predetermined, the fans are still invested as if they're actually really fighting. So, hey, you have to know how to cater to these emotional motherfuckers to a certain degree. That type of shit is what is supposed to happen. And this is what I'm saying. Do you think anybody was fucking giving a fuck when Jade Cargill was sitting up there in an empty fucking arena being interviewed? Like this big, strong, muscle-bound, sexy motherfucker sitting here crying. Like, come on, man. Seriously? No. So, part of my message to you guys is really, let's think about it. An overall message, you know? There's a lot of things you can take for what I said. The grass is definitely not greener on the other side. And definitely not all the time. Some people may benefit more, others won't. Many don't. But you overlook who don't benefit more than you do look at the ones who actually benefits from it. And you think everybody is a success story just because they come to WWE. And you find out later, nope, not the case. Example of something. How long has Braun Strowman been gone? He got fired twice for the same thing. It wasn't his fault. It was their fault. You know, he's being overpaid, not being used. They cut him. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if Braun Strowman came, but we got Brody King over there in AEW. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? Unless they're going to become a tag team or some shit. But at the same time, I was feeling like this. I wouldn't be mad. Well, I'm never mad, but you know, just I wouldn't feel any type of way if Brody King, if Braun Strowman did come to AEW. But here was my thing. WWE had just released a lot of like 10 wrestlers, right? And I looked at who they released. And I remember me personally, I forget the Asian chick name. She ends up going to TNA. But her, is it Zion Lee or some shit, whatever. But her, she would have been cool to have, because I do like her as a wrestler. But I said, honestly, her, Indy Hartwell, and Braun would be the only 3 out of all those 10. And then they released like 5 or 6 more the following week or some shit or whatever it was. But that was my thing. Me personally. That was the 3 that I said, if any of them. Right? My only thing about any WWE release wrestler, especially somebody like Braun that's been there for a long time, is they all have this slave mentality. It's like WWE brands you and somehow put a chip in your body till they just control you. Okay, now it's time to come back. And, you know, don't come to AEW and come there with this, I've headlined WrestleMania and I did this and I wrestled against John. So who give a fuck about that? Then when your contract is up, hey, Tony, thanks for the great times, but I think I'm going to go back to WWE. Like, no. And that's the problem. So Tony Khan said, okay, no problem, right? He got the right wrestlers at the right time, and he's getting guys from the indie circuits as well. And I know who a lot of these, that's what I watch as much as I can of the indies as well. So, no, he's not dependent on former WWE guys. Tony Khan and AEW has shown you, no, our company isn't successful because we're just grabbing WWE guys. Just the program that we're putting on. Because you can get anybody over there. It's how you use them. It's how you construct your shows, how the matches go. It's all of that. And so this is a beautiful thing for AEW. So, yeah, man, I love watching Jade when she was in AEW. What they're doing with Jade now, shit is pathetic. And it's like I look at Jade and I'm going, damn, Jade, like I know this isn't going the way you thought. And I'm gonna say this again, man. I'm not sure that Bianca Belair is really still injured. It's she could be, but the whole finger thing. I mean, I'm just saying from the way they talked about it and how she should be back in no time. Then all of a sudden she's still not here. It's very possible that Bianca Belair and Montez Ford could be sitting back thinking, you know what? I think we need to go somewhere else. We need to just sit back and let's just see what's going on in WWE because, maybe let their contract run. I don't know when their contract is over. And this is just me saying this. I'm not getting this from no source or nothing. But I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that, and not to be controversial, but because I'm just saying, the way they made her injury sound did not sound like she should be gone this goddamn long. Now, they could be saving her for a return at one of the big PLEs or whatever. I don't know. I mean, but it's very possible that they're sitting back wearing their options out, just sitting there looking at the way things are going. Because let me tell y'all something, man. Bianca Belair is also another one that has put so much time in WWE. And it's weird how they complained about her title reigns, but then all of a sudden Rhea Ripley was walking around with the title, and every Rhea Ripley title reign sucked. It's something about it. WWE just put things together randomly as they go. They're trying to do too much, and they're not giving you quality. This is the reason why these matches suck. They don't care. The focus is this. We're the company. The wrestlers are just our pawns. So we control them to go out and do what we want them to do. But, it's about us. It's about those 3 letters, WWE. Everything we do is a spectacle. It's a big festival. That's how they want you to see this shit. So, yeah, we want you to cheer for the wrestlers and tune in and watch. But at the same time, it's like, no, it's us. You're not tuning in solely for the wrestlers. You're tuning in to support us and our greed and paying all this extra money for nothing. That's what it is. It's not about the wrestlers so much. Anytime a motherfucker sit here and tell you storylines don't have to make sense. Imagine just sitting watching movies, right? And you watch 10 fucking movies and go, what the fuck is going on with movies now? These movies don't make sense. Imagine a fucking writer sitting and tell, well, movies don't have to make sense. You go, what the fuck? Okay, because professional wrestling incorporates storylines. Yes, they absolutely fucking do need to make sense. Yes, they absolutely do. That's like saying, yeah, man, you ordered steak, mashed potatoes, potato wedges, spinach, collard greens, or whatever the fuck, but it doesn't have to taste good. I mean, we cooked your food, but it doesn't have to taste good. It's the same shit. I mean, I wrote the script, the actors perform. The movie doesn't have to be good, though. Just watch it and enjoy it anyway. It's the same shit. So, yeah, I mean, everything that you thought you were going to get from Jade and from Jordynne, and it's only because of the way they were positioned in AEW and the way they were positioned in TNA. Not because WWE did anything. They're coming fresh out of other companies, and look at what they did with them. Look at what they did with them. See, this is one of the things that I respect about Sting so much. Because Sting, even while employed by WWE, said the reason he never came to WWE is because he just didn't trust how they wanted to use him. Because he saw the shit. He understood it. And he found out, even years later, decades later, that, they still had that same bullshit way of wanting to just use him to try to embarrass WCW. And he was right. You want to know what that was? Loyalty to the company, right? That built him. WCW was no longer around. He didn't leave like Lex Luger did, like the Road Warriors did, like Ric Flair did, like the Steiners did, like Sid Vicious did. He didn't leave like them and come back. He stayed the entire time. So you can't call Ric Flair, You can't call the Road Warriors. You can't call Lex Luger or nobody else the franchise of WCW. We already know it's not even close. Sting's the man. He owned that shit. But he knew. See, he could have said, man, fuck that. I'm going to make my money. He stayed with WCW. He was getting paid top dollar there as well. But the whole point of it wasn't just him. He wasn't going to allow them to shame him as well as WCW. AEW made Jade Cargill. TNA made Jordynne Grace. Don't get it twisted. Now, I'm not saying if you think you have a better opportunity that you shouldn't go get it. But it's funny, I never hear none of you say, nah, man, be loyal to the company that made you, unless you're talking about WWE. Even if a motherfucker's not happy. They're not satisfied. Like Tommaso Ciampa. He said for the past couple of years, him and his wife was planning on leaving, but they just wasn't financially in a position to do so. But he wasn't happy for years, he said. And when he finally was able to come to AEW and how it all fell through for him, and he was more than grateful. And he saluted Kyle Fletcher on his win. And that, hey, things are moving. I'm loving it already. I'm having a great time. So already. Now just imagine Sting coming to WWE with this, ever since I was a kid, I dreamed of being here. And oh, stop it, Sting. Shut up, please. Don't go there. Because this is what all these fucking people do when they come to WWE, right? Now, with that being said, right? Everybody that thinks, like I said, the grass is greener when they come to WWE, they find out that it's not. Even when to you, it looks like they're on top of the world. There's a lot of issues. And just like that, bam, gone. And did you guys know that when Sting retired from AEW, and Sting, bar none, not even close, nobody in the history of this sport has got the kind of send-off, the retirement that Sting got. Just think about how incredible that match was between him, his sons, and the Bucks. And not only that, he got to do this with his sons, man. He had to do this with his family, his flesh and blood. He got to do this with his family in Darby Allin, man. Just think about this shit, man. He got to do this with his sons. His sons got to get in that ring and experience this. Fuck a WrestleMania package and get to go to stand on the stage and look and walk and stand in the ring. No, they got to actually compete and participate and help their dad in an actual match. Sting, undefeated. Tag, period. Singles or tags. Had the best cinematic match of all time. Remember that cinematic match that he was in AEW? And look at his send-off. No, greedy WWE decides, hey, they reached out to Sting and tried. Yo, Sting told the story. Yeah, they tried to get him to sign a Legends deal with them. And you know what Sting said? I mean, yeah, listen, Tony was more than good to me. I mean, no, I'm definitely, I re-signed with, I have my deal with AEW. So you will see this thing popping up from time to time. And, I can't let anybody taint anything that's going on with me or AEW. And he knows. Just think, what they're going to do with Sting now? Have a Legends deal for what? It's only one fucking reason. Two reasons. One, to try to make whatever money they can off of Sting by trying to sell his story. Two, have him completely act like AEW never happened, right? And the main reason, three reasons, and the main reason, to keep him away from AEW so Tony can't do any business with him further. And look at how things work out. Steve Borden Jr. I just seen another dark match with him in Ring of Honor, right? And I said, great. This works out perfect. And hopefully he advanced the way that at his pace to where he's, once he gets on in front of that camera and he's, wrestling, full time and on the main roster and great. Or should I just say, on Dynamite or Collision? Because I know, these people keep their ears to the streets to know what's going on. So, Steve Borden Jr. is wrestling. Yeah, and listen, you don't think that they were going to try to persuade his sons, hey, man, why don't you guys stick with it? Oh, yeah, now we're going to get Sting 2.0. No. No, they don't deserve that. They really don't. WWE does not deserve that. And they will try to use any company, any wrestlers to turn on any company. What are they going to talk about with Sting? Look at Sting's history with WWE. What the fuck does Sting have to gain by signing a Legends deal with them? What are they possibly going to do with him? So no, Sting showed loyalty. And this is my thing. You know, hey, listen, you have the right to make whatever choice you want to make. You know, I'm not a slave to anybody or anything. So if I feel like there's a better opportunity for something, and it's not always money, because there's times I've taken job that paid less, but I had my peace and my sanity, where I knew, no, this is not what I want, and this is the type of place where you'll be miserable, and you live just to work at a place like this. So no. You know, it's one thing for some people that make desperate moves because they just need money and they don't have much of a choice or something. Maybe, you know, they need whatever first thing that comes to them. And that's a bad place to be in life. That sucks, especially when people know it. Because they'll, you know, where you going to go? What else you going to do? You know, that's the mentality that they have. And people end up in these dead-end jobs. So look out through the history of wrestling, man. You hear all these guys tell you how they went to WWE and got lied to by Vince and got fucked over. But some of you, many of you, try to make Vince seem like he was some fucking, you know, like he was a great human being. I mean, somebody have a product that you like, but you can care less about how they actually treat people. You're the type of people that go to work. If you complain about your manager or administration or whatever, shut up. Shut up, because if you could accept the fact that Vince McMahon was a scumbag, but you just like Vince and you want him back because you want the product to be better, no. That's what I mean. He's a scumbag. I wish like a motherfucker somebody would get in front of me, drop their pants and tell me if I want to keep my job, I got to kiss their ass. Man, I tell you what, I won't turn my fucking shoe sideways. I'm going to take the point of my shoe and kick them right in their asshole. I bet you... Please, because that's how the fucking ambulance gonna find you, bloody, battered, with your fucking pants down, huh? And a super wide asshole. Because I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit up here and go along with it to keep my job, man. Nah, man. You know, Booker T talk all that bullshit. I bet you Booker T would have did it too, and still would have been trying to argue with Swerve had he didn't sell out. A grown ass man, you gonna get on your knees and kiss somebody's ass just for some entertainment? Nah, fuck out of here, man. Ain't nothing you can. Nah. You know, it's funny because I remember back in the day when Biggie Smalls came out, right? And I don't give a fuck who fuck feathers I ruffle. Y'all need to grow up and stop being a bunch of cocksuckers. But Biggie Smalls said two things that got my attention. And I was just like, Biggie Smalls said he's rapping and he's talking to some girl and he says, when I first met you, I must admit, you look so good, I'll suck on your daddy's dick. And I'm like, whoa, what the nah. And then he said a line, don't they know my niggas kidnap kids, fuck them in the ass, throw them over the bridge? I'm like, yo, what is with this dude? What's with the... I'm like, nah, this dude is weird, man. Ain't no bitch that fine that I'm putting my mouth on. Nobody. In fact, I will beat your ass even suggesting that shit. Now imagine you the one ad-libbing for him. You up there, you know, doing a little ad and you saying that shit. Suck on your dick. Nah, big. You got to change that line if you think I'm going to be up there jumping around rapping. Nah. Just think about this. You meet a woman. She's so fine. You like, damn, you her father? Come here, man. You going to start? Nah. You got a problem with some dudes. You kidnap some dudes. You what? Put a gun in their head, turn around, and all of a sudden you want to stick your meat up in them and then throw them over the bridge. Like what's all the raping and do you understand what I'm saying? And people just didn't understand. They always like. I listen to what comes out of people's mouths and I think, damn, all right, nah. I lose interest quick with stupid shit. Years later, people going, damn. You know what's crazy, man? I never thought about that shit. But you know, Lord Jamar from Brand New League, he said the same thing, but I never thought. Yeah, I know. Because I'm not a fucking popular person to the world. And you know, Lord Jamar, yeah, so yeah. Yeah, it takes somebody to say that. As a man, motherfucker, it shouldn't took me to say it, or nobody. As a man, you should. Your spidey system should have been problem. You know what I mean? How in the fuck does that shit make you ride in your car repeating this shit? Nah. No. My point is, I don't go along with what everybody else is doing and saying just because it's a popular thing. No. No. Or I could say this and nobody going to judge me because everybody else is saying it. No, no. There was no woman so fine that I want to put my mouth on any part of her damn daddy. Thank you, sir. Ooh, she's fine. Thank you. Nah. There is nobody who you do something, or I beat your ass. I'll beat your ass, but I'm going to drop your pants and then go up inside of you because what? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? But it's just nah. It's a mindset. No. Then remember the video where he was in bed with the transsexual? I'm just saying, right? But these are the dudes calling people gay, faggots, and all that. And damn, listen to your own words. So if you calling somebody else a gay faggot, what are you? So I'm saying, I'm just real like that. This isn't nitpicking. This is real shit. Like, nah, man, no. And I heard a lot of people. Remember DMX? I bust up at my, what do you say? Talk about I jerk my dick and bust up in your eye so you can see me coming. The hell you want to be jerking off in a man's face for? Oh, but you know, no, that's you motherfuckers. Y'all make excuses. LL Cool J said something in that song. Was it Big Old Butt? And he said something about some girl named Monique. Something picked up this girl, something in the back of the Jeep. She's only 17, but yo don't sleep. Meanwhile, LL Cool J is a grown-ass man. So we fucking minors now. I'm just saying. Yeah. And all these things got my attention. This is what I'm saying. So I've always just had more of all right. I know there's times somebody might be 21, 22, and the chick is 17, about to turn 18 or some shit. Now, maybe the parents, with their consent, like, not that much older. But you understand what I'm saying? Nah, you sitting there talking about a freak, a jump off, a fucking minor, and you gonna grab her and talk about she's only 17, but Joe don't sleep. Then this motherfucker said something. Remember Flavor of Your Ear? And I remember me and my cousin sitting there, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is LL talking about? I remember we kept rewinding his shit, trying to, because I know what a he, she is. And he started that verse off, he, she? Remember that shit? Blotitious. He, she. Blotitious. Stevie. Isn't that a man's name? Delicious. And I'm just like, all right, this shit's stupid. I said, unless he's just using some slang, some queen shit or something that, I don't know, maybe people in the industry know what he's talking about, because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He, she, and then made that little weird squeaky voice when he said it, right? And then I'm like, all right, he, she, blotitious, Stevie, delicious, give me couscous, love me good, damn, hollers to Hollywood, but is he good? Papa love it when he does it. I'm like, yo, this shit sound real suspect, man. And my cousin sitting there kind of like, when somebody like a rapper, like they try to make excuses. Like, I'm like, nah. Even he was just sitting there scratching his head like, damn, cuz, you might be right. And everybody that heard that shit was like, yo, that shit, yeah, like, what the fuck does he mean? And then, what happened? Some years later, you remember that bald transsexual with the glasses that was talking about how she gave LL Cool J fellatio and she knew who he was. He was aware that she's a trans. Okay. But I was tripping, right? So it's just a coincidence that LL let another man suck him off. And she told the whole story. Had documentation how his team was trying to pay her off to not sue, to not say go on with this story. And like they was trying to pay. You understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Trying to pay to just, hey, come on, you gonna ruin my client's reputation. Same thing with Mr. C. But I'm saying Mr. C basically just got caught and lied about it, okay? But I'm telling you all this because this is what I'm saying. I deal with reality. I see shit that a lot of people don't see until years later. So when I'm sitting there saying he, she is what we call transsexuals. Blotitious is you using your mouth. That's some shit he made. Like, that's not even a word, but this is what I'm saying. What? Blotitious. What the fuck? Like, what is he talking about? Stevie? Delicious. Give me couscous, love me good. Damn, Hollister, Hollywood, but is he good? Then telling the bitch, talk about something, legs in the air, let your toes tap, let your Timbs tap or something. And, well, it's like, hey, I mean, I'm sure I didn't see some little stud-looking bitches wearing Timbs, but like, what the? And I'm just like, this shit make no sense. So now when the story came out years later with this transsexual, everybody was like, yo, Aries, yo, you was right. Yo, I'm just saying. I told my sons when they was talking about this guy, Lil Nas X. Remember that some song he made about riding a horse? And I'm like, I never seen this dude's face. I don't even listen to that shit. I'm sitting there listening like, here's what happened. Y'all remember way back in the day, the rapping Duke? Da ha, da ha, da ha, 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 that dumb shit. And they were saying this was that era's version of the rapping Duke, right? That shit ain't sound nothing like what the rapping Duke was talking about, right? But what I said to my sons, I said, listen, there's a lot of things that y'all don't see yet, but I'm always put you on to reality. I said, personally, and I told them, stay out of conversations, negative conversations, period. You don't owe homosexuals or nobody else no extra respect. Their life is their life, but stay out of it, out of negative conversations. I said, this dude sounds like he's probably a homosexual. I just can't see a straight man singing, pouring his heart into about riding a horse. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just think about it. I'm gonna ride till I can't no. Just the way he, and I'm just, my sons was laughing like, why you say that though? They didn't see it. And some time went by and he came out the closet about it, right? And then he's making a video on a pole, shaking his ass in front of little boys, right? Oh, okay. And then, but nobody, they can't see. Think about this. I think this generation can't see a lot of shit because they grew up not being grounded and shown a lot of shit. Me being from a generation where I could teach my sons the right ways and teach them things where they could pay attention and, you know what, I can read the room way better now, having a father that could, instill these things in me. A man singing, hitting high notes about riding a fucking horse. It's just not masculine. And it's like, he's proud about it. And that's the bottom line. The little stupid verses in between, I don't know what the fuck you were saying, but the whole fucking, the hook. And then everybody started going, damn, how you be knowing this shit? Some shit you just feel. Some shit you just innately know. Like you just, right? Think about this shit. You ever seen a female ride a mechanical bull? You ever see these little things, they got these little so-called exercise things, and the women be bouncing around, they be looking like they're having orgasms. Okay, now I'm just saying, think about it. What man, just think, because when you sit up on the back of a horse, where the fuck is the horse's spine? And the center of its back, just like yours, right? And mine. So, meaning when you sitting up on this horse, even though you on a saddle, I'm just saying, where is the fucking spine? That's, right? Lined up with the crack of your fucking ass, and you sit up there bouncing, time I'm gonna ride till I can't. Nah, that shit don't sound masculine, man. You understand what I'm saying? So, certain things, you know how like in school you get context clues about, it's like similar to that. So I'm telling you guys, people want to believe things. With me, it's never about what I want to believe. It's always about what we can prove and what the truth is. Here's situations where, well, the people that I had suspicions about, every single one of them ended up either getting caught or coming out admitting later what they are. And it's, how you know that? I'm just glad that I do see and know things that I do know, because it helps me to navigate the way I'm supposed to. So when you guys are sitting here watching WWE, you're watching AWA with all this hate for whatever stupid reasons and dumbass excuses y'all make, you watch it, anything. Always remember something. These people pay their own bills. It's their life, right? Not yours. Your connection with them is you giving them your money, okay? Basically. So whether you buying pay-per-views, whether you're going to buy a ticket to go to the show, whatever, but bottom line, you don't have the right to tell somebody how, or what decisions that they should make. Now, me personally, let's say Jade Cargill is my sister, right? Or some shit. She's my, and I'm saying, hey, Jade, make sure you do all your homework on WWE before you jump ship, because you got everything laid out for you right here at AEW, man. Everything. And honestly, look at what's going on. Ain't too many black people, for one, doing a bunch of shit in WWE. So just be careful. Now, maybe somebody did say that. Who knows? But more than likely, it's like, girl, shit, that's WWE. You better go. Think about this. Powerhouse Hobbs, supposedly, it was an article I read that Powerhouse Hobbs said he had it easy in AEW. Everything came to him easy, he handled problems, but he just felt like he wasn't being used right. The money was great, everything, right? They even offered me more money. But, I just felt like I got more to offer than what AEW was allowing me to show. Let's hold him to those words, and let's see what happens with Powerhouse Hobbs going forward. I'm not wishing anything bad on him. I don't give a fuck about the WWE because I understand who they are. But at the same time, look at his entrance into the Royal Rumble to no applause, and he manages to dump out Damian Priest. Okay. Well, you went from being a former TNT champion, a former Trios champion, and was a Trios champion while he decided to leave. Okay, cool. Now, when you watch him struggle in WWE, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the same slavery as mindset. Cody Rhodes is a fucking white slave. That's all he is. What did this motherfucker say? It's the same mindset. If I ever felt disrespected in WWE, if, motherfucker, you definitely did. You basically made that known a million times while you weren't there. Okay? And that's why you fucking left. They didn't fire you. You left on your own. Okay? And that's why you wanted to start another company. You were sick of that shit. And you couldn't see a reason for you to go back or them to want you back. And what did he say? He said, if I ever felt disrespected in WWE, well, they are the Yankees. They're the Babe Ruth. They're the big ticket, right? But listen, but for me to feel disrespected with the company that I helped build, that's something different. That's like saying, I will argue with my brother, my sister, my mother or father, but I'll let somebody else's mother, father, brother, sister curse me out and treat me how they want. I won't put up a fight with them, but I will my own. That's pretty much the same shit. I had a friend at one time who was annoying as fuck. He was like 8 years older than me and shit, right? And we used to write songs and do rap music. And I know my pen game is still awesome to this day, right? Whatever, but I know what I can do. For some reason, this motherfucker, he would do shit like this. And I'm just giving you guys life lessons in these videos, okay? He used to do shit like this. I had my own project I was working on. He had his own shit he was working on, right? But I remember he came to me, like he would always be like, yo, let me hear something, right? But what he did, he would rap. People be like, yo, Aries he nice as fuck, yo, that motherfucker, his pen is nasty, right? And every time he would rap, and he could rap, he could rap, man. But he sound very outdated. Understand what I'm saying? And certain songs that he did, they would sound different. and you couldn't time in with the time, but it's like other shit just. It was like he had certain songs he did that just his style, just the music he listened to, the tracks he chose, they just sound outdated. And there was stuff that he did that I liked, but nothing he did really stood out to like you could put this right now with what's being played right now at the time, and it's right there with it. It just all sound outdated, and so it's like listening to an old album now. You still like the songs on there, but if that person was to come out now, you can't come out sounding like you did then. That was his problem. He just didn't know how to evolve. But I remember the first time he heard me rhyme, and his face was like, the fuck? He opened his notebook and he started erasing shit. And we were supposed to be doing something because he asked me to do something with him. But I did my shit like he just was like, damn. And back then, man, I had like 10. Listen to me. I had like 10 notebooks all filled up with just rhymes, just right. So I had shit forever, man. I used to battle all the time and all of that. So me and this motherfucker, it's like every time I write some shit, he had his look on his face like, and he started erasing whatever he wrote, start rewriting. So I did one song with him one day, and it used to piss me off. Twice. After the second time, I said, man, I'm not doing shit with you. Something is wrong with you, man. Like, you got mental problems. What he did, he wrote something, and I remember he named the song On a Creep Night. Now, it was his song, not mine. I just thought that was a weak-ass fucking title. But I remember I sat right there in the studio. We went to this dude, Jordynne was his name, or some shit, out in Brooklyn, some Haitian guy. They were Haitian. I penned my shit down right there. All right. So, now it's his song. But he's sitting there like, every time I write with him, he get writer's block. I say, yo, Jordynne, yo, run that beat back. So I'm like, all right. So I said, Jay, you going first or me? Right? He was like, I said, yeah, it's your song. Do you want me to go first, or like, what are we doing? So he was like, I said, all right, because depending on the order, that's the part I want him to go to, right? So the way this song was written, it wasn't like after his verse, we go to a hook and then I come in. It was like as soon as he done, I come right in after him. And I just lit that shit up. Everybody in the room was like, oh, shit, yo, hold up, yo. We ran that shit back 4 times, 5 times. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo. Now he's sitting there looking stupid. And you know what this motherfucker said to me? When we were on the train, we used to live in New Jersey at the time. We coming back from Brooklyn. And this motherfucker actually said to me, yo, man, you sound like you talk about me in your verse. I looked at this motherfucker. I said, yo, G, I swear to you, man, I want to punch you in your fucking face right now. I swear to you. I like, yo, I said, you a fucking asshole. I said, yo, don't say shit to me the whole time. When we get back, just go the fuck home. And his brother was like, yo, Will, why you tripping? To his brother. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Come on, it's family right here. I'm just saying, when you said, I said, hey, yo, listen to me, man. Your insecurities is not my fucking concern. I didn't ask to do this fucking song with you. You asked me. I took time out my schedule to come all the way over here on this fucking train with your motherfucking ass. You asked me to do this shit. Second time was like some years later. And same old, and I said, nah, I can't fuck with him. Okay. But he would always say shit like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, your shit is, I mean, we ain't no Rock Hims or no Canes or nothing. But I'm like, no, motherfucker, you not them. I know you definitely not. But you not me. I'll smoke you. And I finally got sick of his shit. He would always say shit like, we not this, we not that. And I remember one day he was outside. He never wanted to do a cipher. Never. So purposely what I did, because I can rebuttal and I can like freestyle, like really. And this motherfucker, they was playing his shit, right? So I did this on purpose. Because I was really like heated with his ass. I was annoyed with him. And so what he did was he had he was playing his music. So everybody standing around listening, right? So I did this shit on purpose. When his shit went off, I start rapping about what he was rapping about. off the top of my fucking head, just start rapping about shit. And then I went into one of some shit I wrote. And when he was playing his shit, everybody was just doing this. But when I went, everybody was, right? And he didn't like that shit. I know he didn't like it. But I was at the point where I really wanted to beat his ass. And I'm looking at him. And we sit down talking, and one day he said, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. He apologized to me. Because I told him, I said, you can't fuck with me. Your pen ain't like mine. You can't beat me in nothing. Nothing. You supposed to be doing shit with me, but you a fucking hater. You not even on my fucking level. You don't know how to fucking switch hit on with the pen. You one dimensional. You write about the same shit over and over, and you sound like 1980 something. I said, man, you don't fucking get it. And no matter how much somebody try to help you or work with you, everything is your ego. So I said, man, don't ask me to do no more fucking music with you, because I'm not. And I said, even I'll smoke you on your own fucking records. Any fucking day, I will smoke you. Any day. That's where shit went. His apology to me was, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Because I didn't see this motherfucker after that conversation about a year. He's like, I was doing drugs back then. I was smoking woos, man. I know I was acting like an asshole, man. All that, whatever. But anyway, that relationship ended up being the thing of, because he did some other dumb shit after that with there's a guy that I know, and that's why I couldn't fuck with him. And I knew I was relocating or whatever, fuck, man. But when I saw him, I just dapped him and his brother up, and they, yo, stay in touch, man. But he's the kind of person, like I told y'all before, some people have the type of mentality, the best way for y'all to stay cool is just to stay away from each other. And that definitely was you know, me and him. And at that point, that's the last time I saw him. And, you know, you got to learn how to be men and women. Stop letting people use you. Stop letting people try to dictate who and what you are, what you should and what you shouldn't do. Now, what does all of this shooting this shit and dropping gems on you got to do? It's the same shit that WWE is doing to you motherfuckers. Because you allow them. You as grown-ass men and women shouldn't be sitting there talking about they're forcing us to pay more money. How? That's called extortion. Do you know what do you know that's called extortion, right? They're taking your money against your will. No, you're giving it to them. They're forcing us. That's why I said listen to terminology. Listen to the language people use. They're telling you who the fuck they are. You're blaming WWE because you're mentally weak. They're forcing us to pay extra money. They're forcing us to have to go into our bank and save our savings account and pay for this. How the fuck are they forcing you? Somebody tell you right now, don't buy. I've seen so many videos, well, at least the thumbnails, but people telling you, don't buy WWE 2K26. It sucks. This game is awful, right? And you want to know what you'd be doing? You'd be standing right there at fucking GameStop where I know. It is fucked up. This game is so awful. I can't, everybody said the same thing. And I know it's trash. So what you about to do now? I'm about to buy 2K26. That's you. I'm going to complain about it, but I'm still going to buy it anyway. I'm going to complain about WrestleMania, but I'm going to order that shit anyway. Or I'm going to get on the plane and fly to fucking Vegas anyway. I'm going to complain, but I'm going to sit up here for the next 2 hours and watch this garbage ass show. I'm going to call them racist. I'm going to call them out on their bigotry. I'm going to call them out on all this unprofessional shit they're doing. I'm going to call them out on their bias, on their favoritism, but I'm still going to support them. And then I'm going to do some lame shit, like jump on the video and tell everybody how I don't even watch the whole show. I'm so done with this show. Like I said, y'all been saying this show is dead for the past 2 fucking years. It's dead. God damn, how many lives this motherfucker got? It's dead, but you're watching it. It's unwatchable, but you're watching it. It's a disgrace, but you're watching it. It's embarrassing, but you're watching it. It's terrible, but you're watching it. And here's my thing. Why is it that you're so comfortable giving everybody disgraceful, embarrassing, unwatchable, terrible news? Why don't you fucking talk to your audience about something positive? Because you're just like them. They live in your fucking head rent free. They're not making videos about you. You're making videos about them, and all you do is talk as if these motherfuckers are ruining your life. So when you started sentence with, I'm pissed off, you already fucked yourself up. You ruined yourself. Did you start your channel with the intentions of just being controversial or being negative or complaining all the time? Because that's all y'all do. You see that this is their direction. I told you, dumb motherfuckers, a long time ago, this is not the WWE that you grew up on. It's a new era. You're asking, you want to know what this is like? This is like one of your grandparents going, what happened to real music? Music used to sound like this. A wop, bam, a loo, wop, a whoop, bam, boom, tutti frutti, old Rudy, woo, right? And then telling you, now that's real music, right? Okay, cool. They don't do music like that no more. Which means you've outgrown this form of music. So you know what you have to do? Go back and get your hands on the old shit. Or search and scroll for some newer shit that maybe, or another form of music. Listen, it happened to me. This rap shit, this drill music shit, this bullshit, shit ain't for me, man. Shit, I find myself listening to fucking go-go music. I find myself listening to just tracks with no singing or rapping at all, just music. I mean, different shit. Different shit. But I'm not going to sit up here and make a fucking channel about music, and I'm sitting here every fucking video I'm bitching about the new song that this one made. This shit is trash. Oh my God, this because now you're just showing you're nothing but a bitter, miserable person. Nobody's making you do this shit other than yourselves. And you know what? If it's so trash and so garbage, then why don't you give your audience something that they can fucking cling to, that they like? Something that they enjoy. Something that they want to watch again. Stop giving your fucking audience nothing but bad news. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You chose to make your fucking channel a WWE channel, but call it a wrestling channel. It's not a wrestling channel. It's a WWE channel. And you're pissed off because you have nothing else to talk about. And you can't find enjoyment in anything else. So that's exactly the same thing. I dealt with people in life that fucking always tried to put us in a box, tried to categorize us, tried to keep us back, tried to put us in the same category. No, I'm not you. You're not me. Stop telling me who I'm better than or not better than because you feel inferior to these people. I'm not thinking about them. I'm not focusing on that. You think I'm writing my shit based on them? No, I'm not concerned with them. You can't stick to a topic. You don't know what you want. This is all that. So that long explanation I gave y'all, it all describes y'all that do this kind of stuff. Just like, for example, a whole lot of you are going to secretly watch AEW Grand Slam Australia. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to love the fucking show. But you're not going to talk about it because your slave ass has pledged allegiance to the WWE. Worst wrestling entertainment. And if you do talk about it, you'll try to give it some half-ass credit, try to find more cons and pros, like y'all always do. Then get upset when somebody come in your comment section and say, hey, sorry, but AEW is way better than WWE. By far, it's not even close. So you go from complaining about the WWE to trying to defend them. What the fuck does that make you? That's like the type of, you ever hear a woman talk about a man? He yells at me and this and that. He curses at me and he don't let me go out the house. And then when somebody say, you don't need to be with somebody like that. I mean, that's abusive. Well, he loved me. He ain't all bad. Bitch, you the one sitting there. You've been talking for half an hour and said nothing good about him. Now we trying to help you redirect yourself. Now you want to defend him and get mad at us for trying to help you. That's you guys. That is you guys. That is you guys. And you act like you have some emotional attachment to WWE. Like, it seemed like y'all think Triple H know who all of y'all are. The WWE staff know who all of y'all are. Like, they will see you and know who you are. Like, you guys got to... No, they don't know your stupid asses. You're sitting up here making a fuss. Listen to this. I'm a grown-ass man. I refuse to sit here make a video and have a face like this on my thumbnail. Caption says, WWE has made me very sad. WWE has pissed me off. Why should any of this shit piss you off? That means you have nothing going on in your life. The biggest thing you got going on is wanting to enjoy a WWE show. Simple. Only things you really care about upset you, hurt you, get you in your feelings. You mean to tell me that a fucking TV show does that to you? A fucking song does that to you? A movie does that to you? You can't blame Triple H for that. Take accountability for your own selves. That's your bullshit. I'm giving y'all grown-up talk right now because that's what y'all need. You motherfuckers need therapy. I'm dead ass serious. Y'all need fucking therapy. The fact that you take the time out of your schedule every single week and you try to make yourself not look as stupid as you really are by saying shit like, I don't even watch the whole show. Okay, you don't watch the whole show, but you're going to sit here and talk about every single match and then sit here and give a breakdown about it and talk about how awful and unwatchable it is. Y'all need therapy, man. You're blaming Triple H for your actions. You're blaming the WWE for your own insecurities and your own weaknesses. It's not their fault. That's your fault. So yes, Jade Cargill and the juggernaut Jordynne Grace has been ruined. How they try to rebuild them, the problem will be, regardless, they will not be the superstars that you all thought they were going to be and that they promised you that they would be. At the end of the day, I said what I said.